That's better. Gig! Whew. Right, we have a joke here from Mr. Ditopia that he'd like explaining to him because he doesn't understand it. 2 members, he writes here, 2 members of the Swiss Army got into a bottle opener fight, then a corkscrew fight, then a tweezer fight, then a knife fight. Right, now, the Swiss Army prides itself on the existence of a little multi-tool. The original, one might say, multi-tool. Which looks a little something like this. It's what we call an almond finger. And they're usually available in convenience stores at about £1 for, well, sometimes you get 5 and... No, I'm being a silly. No, this is not an almond finger. No, what it is what we call a Swiss Army knife. Yes, Swiss Army knife. Now, the joy of the Swiss Army knife, it's a pocket knife, fundamentally it's a pocket knife. But it's so much more. It's got all these pull-out things. It's got a little saw. It's got a tiny little saw that comes out. It's got a tiny little saw. It's got a little, as the joke implies, a little corkscrew that comes out. It's got a little thing for getting, like, the dirt out of the frog of a horse's hoof. You know what the frog of a horse's... Well, hang on. This is important. Whoa! Oh, how long have I been able to do that? Blimey, Charlie. That's exciting. Right, horse's hoof. I hope I'm getting this right. Horses have, the plural of horses. They have feet that are called hooves. It's basically like huge, essentially it's almost like a huge nail that their entire foot is made of. And so they've got this bit here, which is all sort of... keratin, let's say it's keratin. And in here, they've got a soft sort of fleshy part, which is vaguely frog-shaped. And as such, if you can think of other parts of anatomy that look like frogs, do put them up in Discord. Yes, so this is the frog, which is like the soft part of the hoof is the frog. And dirt gets just like dirt getting under our toenails, really. Dirt gets in here, or fingernails. So it's useful to have something that can gently clean that out. So yeah. Why are we talking about this? Oh yes. So there's a bear. Look. I've really got it in for that ear. So. In this joke, we have 2 members of the Swiss Army, you see, both of whom would no doubt carry a Swiss Army knife. Got into a bottle opener fight, you see. Then a corkscrew fight, then a tweezer fight, then a knife fight. Yeah. I would have led with knife fight. I don't know. I would have led. It's difficult. It's a difficult one. I can see both sides of the argument, Di. I can absolutely see both sides of the argument because as soon as you Swiss Army got into a knife fight, you're already kind of at the punchline in the head. You think, and then it's going to be it's going to be a list of other things. But here it's sort of bottle opener then corkscrew. But anyway, the point is that you're called on to imagine them having this fight in a bar when it by pulling out little bits of stuff from their Swiss Army knife, and that's what makes the joke funny. That silly little sort of mental picture that the joke creates. I was going to say, which RFA horse is this? Indeed. Which part of? I'm glad you did. Mr. Frightful. I would prefer the arm and finger. A lot easier to kill with one. It depends on the allergies of the recipient, I suppose. But yes, I gotta say though, that's not a bad for a quick doodle. I mean, if we were playing Pictionary, you'd know damn well what that was, wouldn't you? Right, Anyway, have I successfully explained your joke to your satisfaction, Ditopia? Well done for diagramming a horse hoof well enough for it to be recognisable from the following screen. Thank you, Mr. Frightful. Is it a joke that no one knows which tool is out? That's another element M. Curtains is very quick to and correct to point out. Is it's you got to kind of pull. You don't necessarily know your way around the Swiss Army knife because there's so many things in there that you might not actually realise which bit you're pulling out. Ditopia's gone to ground. He's gone to ground. Should we just? I'm going to assume that Ditopia now understands that joke. So we're gonna get back to the game. We're gonna get back to the game. Yeah.